The Dreamcast has one of the strangest reputation in gaming. It was Sega's final console. Production ended after only a few years. And yet people still remember it as one of Sega's most interesting machines. So what actually went wrong? When Dreamcast launched in Japan 1998,
あ、間に合ってます。しつこいわね。すいません。あら、滝沢くん？売れましたよ、3つも。あ、そう。あいつ一人でやれへんだよ。あ、中高年のうつ病は危険か。そうだ。皆さんお願いがあります。リアカーを引くこのおじさん見かけたら専務一つくださいと言ってあげてください。ドリームキャストいかがですか？専務一つください。あ、はい。Dreamcast!
and then in North America, 9 of September 99, Sega badly needed comeback.
Get ready to rumble! It's round one, and Sega is flexing its newfound muscles with its brand new game system called Dreamcast.
This is the first time I ever played it.
First time for Matt Mignogno.
Whoa.
Because this is the first day it went on sale.
I expect it to do really well.
Sales that are expected to bring in $45 million, and that's just today. Dreamcast will bring in more in one day.
The Saturn had struggled outside Japan, and years of hardware mistakes had already weakened Sega's position. Dreamcast was supposed to reset everything. At first, it looked promising.
Watch this. I've got a plan. I can beat this thing. Excellent.
It's thinking.
The American launch was strong. Sega pushed the system aggressively, and the hardware itself felt unusually modern.
What does Sega's Dreamcast have that Sony's PlayStation and Nintendo's 64 don't?
It's actually a system that can go interactive. You can plug it into your phone line.
For the first time, a video game system will allow you to play your opponent who doesn't even have to be in the same room, in the same city, or the same state. You'll be able to play online.
We believe the future of gaming is the internet, and the Sega Dreamcast provides internet connectivity, a 56K built-in modem at $199. At launch, email, chat, and an unbelievable amount of content.
Online play, web browsing, and services like SegaNet were part of Sega's plan from the beginning, while most console gaming was still offline. The VMU was unusual too. It was a memory card with its own screen and buttons, and some games used it for extra information or small minigames. Then there were the games: Soul Calibur, Sonic Adventure, Crazy Taxi, Jet Set Radio, Power Stone. Dreamcast clearly wasn't lacking personality. The bigger issue was that Sega needed it to succeed quickly. The company had already spent years losing money in the hardware business. Dreamcast didn't have a luxury of slowly building an audience over 5 or 6 years. Then Sony entered with the PlayStation 2. The original PlayStation had already sold tens of millions of systems, so Sony started with a huge existing audience. And the PlayStation 2 had another major advantage. It played DVD movies. Dreamcast didn't. Dreamcast used Sega's own GD-ROM format, which worked well for games but couldn't play standard DVD films. Around 2000, that mattered. DVD was becoming the new home video format, and the PlayStation 2 could effectively replace two purchases, a new console and a DVD player. Dreamcast couldn't make the same argument. Sega also had a serious software problem in North America. Electronic Arts stayed away from Dreamcast. That means no Madden, FIFA, or NHL. Sega responded with its own 2K Sports series, and many of those games were excellent, but replacing major EA franchise was difficult, especially in the American market. By early 2001, Sega decided that hardware business was no longer sustainable. Dreamcast production was stopped, and Sega began shifting towards becoming a third-party publisher. It wasn't a failure because nobody liked it. It failed because it couldn't keep Sega competitive as a console manufacturer. Dreamcast had good technology, strong games, and ideas that later become normal, but Sega no longer had enough money, time, or market power to wait for those ideas to pay off. That's why Dreamcast is remembered so differently from most failed consoles. It didn't disappear because it was boring. It disappeared while people still wanted more.